In the second last paragraph we just read, there is a word spelt Quaked. I read it as quacked, but it is not quacked, it is quaked. Quaked means shook or shuddered in fear. Usually we speak of the earthquake. The shaking of the earth is called the earthquake. Just like that here, quaked means shook or shuddered in fear. Now let's continue with our reading of the story. We stopped at the point where the author was telling us about the little girl's feeling of fear and sorrow in leaving her parents' house. Jashi went with Uma. It was understood that she would stay for a few days to settle Uma in her in-laws' house and then return. The kind-hearted Jashi, after much thought, took Uma's exercise book along with her. The book was part of her paternal house, a loving reminder of her brief stay in the house of her birth. In crooked, unformed letters, it told the abridged history of her parents' love and care for her. It brought a brief savor of tender freedom to the little girl in the midst of her premature wifeliness. She was too young to be a wife, and Jashi felt that in her husband's house, this book would remind Uma of the love and care of her parents, of the freedom she enjoyed in her parents' house, etc. In the first few days after her arrival in her in-laws' house, Uma wrote nothing. She had no time. At length, some days later, Jashi returned to her former residence. That day, Uma shut the door of her bedroom in the afternoon, took the exercise book out of her tin box and wrote tearfully in it, "Jashi has gone home. I want to go back to mother too." Now Uma no longer had the leisure to copy anything out of the Charupath or Bodhodaya. All these were books written in Bengali. Usually she had the habit of copying paragraphs from books into her exercise book, but now she did not have the time for that. Perhaps she did not have the inclination either. She also didn't have the interest to do so because she was so sad at her husband's residence. So nowadays there were no great intervals between Uma's own brief compositions. All she wrote in the exercise book were the lines that came to her mind, her own compositions. Immediately after the above statement, we might read, "If Dada comes to take me home just once, I'll never spoil his writings again." Dada means brother. She wishes that her brother would come and take her home, and she promises to herself that if Dada took her home, she wouldn't bother him in any way. She would never spoil his writings again. It is said that Uma's father often attempted to bring Uma home. Govindlal teamed up with Pyari Mohan to frustrate these plans. He said that now was the time for Uma to learn devotion to her husband. If she was brought away frequently from her husband's house into the familiar ambit of her parents' love, her mind would be unnecessarily distracted. So Govindlal, one of the traditionalists, he teamed up with Pyari Mohan to stop Uma's father from bringing Uma back to their residence. He said that now was the time for Uma to learn devotion to her husband. If she was brought away frequently from her husband's house into the familiar ambit of her parents' love, her mind would be unnecessarily distracted. Mixing advice and mockery, he composed so excellent an essay on this theme that none of his like-minded readers could refrain from admitting the undeniable truth of his exposition. This idea also Govindlal put into an essay, and that was also accepted by his like-minded readers. Having heard people say this, Uma wrote in her exercise book, "Dada, I beg of you, take me home just once. I'll never make you angry again."